What if I told you that beneath the waves of the Arabian Sea lies a city so ancient, so magnificent, that it makes Atlantis look like a bedtime story? A city that was supposed to be nothing more than myth, until divers discovered something that would shake the foundations of everything we thought we knew about human history. In the sacred texts of ancient India, there exists a tale of a golden city called Dwarka, the legendary capital of Lord Krishna himself. For thousands of years, scholars dismissed it as pure mythology, a beautiful fantasy woven into the fabric of Hindu tradition. But here's where things get interesting. In the early 2000s, marine archaeologists descended into the murky depths off the coast of Gujarat, India, and what they found would change everything. Massive stone structures, geometric patterns, and an entire urban complex resting on the ocean floor, precisely where the ancient texts said it would be. Now, before we dive deeper into this mystery, imagine living in a city so advanced that it featured sophisticated town planning, multi-story buildings, and intricate drainage systems 9,000 years ago. That's not 900 years, not 2,000 years, but 9,000 years before the present day. To put that in perspective, this city would have thrived long before the Egyptian pyramids were even conceived, before Mesopotamian civilization took its first breath, before humanity was supposed to have the capability to build anything remotely this sophisticated. The story begins with the Mahabharata, one of the most important texts in Hindu literature. This ancient epic describes Dwarka as a magnificent metropolis built by Lord Krishna after he fled from Mathura. According to the texts, the city was constructed on reclaimed land from the sea, featuring palaces made of gold and silver, wide roads, beautiful gardens, and nearly 1 million residences. The city was supposedly protected by massive walls and fortifications, making it virtually impregnable. But here's the part that sent shivers down the spines of researchers. The Mahabharata explicitly states that after Krishna's death, the city would be swallowed by the sea, disappearing beneath the waves as if it had never existed. For centuries, this was considered nothing more than religious allegory, a moral tale about the impermanence of material wealth. But in 1983, a determined archaeologist named Dr. S.R. Rao refused to let the story die. He organized the first systematic exploration of the waters off the modern town of Dwarka in Gujarat. What his team discovered that year would be just the beginning of an archaeological saga that continues to unfold even today. The initial findings were stunning. Using side-scan sonar and underwater photography, the team identified large geometric structures arranged in a clear pattern beneath the water. These weren't random rock formations shaped by ocean currents. These were walls, foundations, and what appeared to be the remnants of a once great city. The structures stretched across several square kilometers, suggesting an urban settlement of considerable size. Stone anchors, pottery fragments, and architectural remains were recovered, some of which were carbon dated to be over 9,000 years old. But the scientific community remained skeptical, and rightfully so. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So the excavations continued, becoming more sophisticated with each passing decade. In 2001, Indian scientists from the National Institute of Ocean Technology used advanced sonar imaging to create detailed maps of the underwater structures. What they revealed was breathtaking. Massive foundation walls, a grid-like city layout, and structures that suggested deliberate urban planning on a scale that shouldn't have been possible for a civilization existing 9 millennia ago. One of the most compelling discoveries was a collection of perfectly shaped stone blocks, some weighing several tons, arranged in clear architectural patterns. These blocks showed evidence of being worked by human hands, with precise cuts and deliberate placement. The discovery of what appeared to be ancient seals, pottery with distinctive markings, and even artifacts that seemed to match descriptions from ancient texts added layers of credibility to the claims that this was indeed the legendary Dwarka. Now let's address the elephant in the room. How does a city end up underwater? The answer lies in one of the most dramatic periods in Earth's geological history. Around 11,700 years ago, the last ice age began to end. Massive glaciers that had covered large portions of the planet started melting at an unprecedented rate. This caused sea levels to rise dramatically, sometimes by as much as 120 meters over several thousand years. Coastlines that had been dry land for millennia suddenly found themselves submerged beneath advancing waters. But here's where the Dwarka mystery becomes even more fascinating. The ancient texts don't just say the city was gradually flooded over centuries. They describe a sudden, catastrophic inundation. The Mahabharata speaks of the sea rushing in to claim the city shortly after Krishna's departure from this world. Could this have been a massive tsunami? A sudden tectonic shift? Or perhaps a rapid glacial melt event? Geological evidence from the region suggests that the area has experienced significant seismic activity throughout its history, making any of these scenarios plausible. What makes Dwarka particularly intriguing to researchers is that it challenges our conventional timeline of human civilization. The standard narrative taught in schools suggests that complex urban societies didn't emerge until around 5,000 years ago with the Sumerians in Mesopotamia and the Harappan civilization in the Indus Valley. If Dwarka truly dates back 9,000 years or more, it would mean that sophisticated civilizations existed thousands of years before we thought possible. It would mean that our ancestors were far more advanced, far earlier, than we ever imagined. The underwater excavations have revealed something else that's equally fascinating. The structures found beneath the waves show remarkable similarities to the ancient city of Dwarka that still exists on land today. The modern town of Dwarka is considered one of the 7 most ancient cities in India and remains an important pilgrimage site. Archaeological surveys of the land-based city have uncovered multiple layers of habitation, with the oldest layers dating back several thousand years. Could it be that as the ancient city was submerged, survivors rebuilt their civilization slightly inland, preserving their architectural traditions and cultural memory? Critics of the ancient Dwarka theory point out several valid concerns. They argue that some of the underwater formations could be natural geological features mistaken for human construction. They question the dating methods used and suggest that the artifacts found might have washed down from more recent settlements. Some skeptics propose that even if there are genuine ancient structures underwater, they might be from a later period than claimed, perhaps 2,000 or 3,000 years old rather than 9,000. These are important critiques that remind us to approach such discoveries with appropriate scientific rigor. However, proponents of the ancient Dwarka theory counter with equally compelling arguments. They point to the geometric precision of the structures, the presence of worked stone blocks, the discovery of artifacts that match ancient descriptions, and most importantly, the consistency between the archaeological findings and the detailed descriptions in ancient texts. How could ancient writers have described a submerged city in such specific detail if they hadn't actually witnessed it before it went underwater? One of the most exciting aspects of the Dwarka investigation is that it's far from over. Modern technology continues to advance, offering new tools for underwater archaeology. High-resolution sonar mapping, remotely operated underwater vehicles, and advanced dating techniques promise to reveal even more secrets from the depths. Plans for more extensive excavations are continually being proposed, though underwater archaeology in this region faces challenges from strong ocean currents, poor visibility, and the sheer depth of some of the structures. The implications of Dwarka extend far beyond India's shores. If this city is as ancient as the evidence suggests, it joins a growing list of discoveries that are forcing us to reconsider human history. From Göbekli Tepe in Turkey to the Yonaguni Monument off Japan, from the Bimini Road in the Bahamas to the submerged structures off the coast of Cuba, underwater archaeology is revealing that advanced civilizations might have flourished during periods we once considered primitive. Each discovery adds another piece to a puzzle that becomes more complex and fascinating with every passing year. What happened to the people of ancient Dwarka? If the city was indeed submerged, where did its inhabitants go? Did they carry their knowledge and culture to other parts of India, seeding new civilizations? Is this why Indian civilization seems to burst onto the historical scene already possessing sophisticated mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy? Could the survivors of Dwarka have been the ancestors of the Harappan civilization that would flourish thousands of years later? These questions remain tantalizing mysteries waiting to be solved. The story of Dwarka reminds us that ancient texts, even those we classify as mythology, might contain kernels of historical truth. It challenges us to look at legends with fresh eyes, To consider that stories passed down through countless generations might be based on real events, real places, and real people. It suggests that our ancestors might have been better observers and recorders of their world than we give them credit for. Perhaps it's time we started listening more carefully to what the ancients were trying to tell us. As we stand at the intersection of mythology and archaeology, faith and science, Dwarka represents something profound. It's a bridge between the world our ancestors knew and the world we're trying to understand. Whether you believe it was Krishna's legendary capital or simply an advanced prehistoric settlement, one thing is certain. Beneath the Arabian Sea lies a mystery that continues to captivate, confound, and inspire. And until we fully excavate and understand what's down there, the sunken city of Dwarka will remain one of archaeology's most tantalizing enigmas, a reminder that the past still has secrets to reveal, stories yet to be told, and wonders waiting to be discovered in the depths.